Hey gents, welcome back to another installment in the never-ending sneaker saga. Today we're looking at more minimalist white sneakers, and this is really to fill the holes in all the other videos that I've done. I think this is my fourth or fifth video of this style talking about sneakers and all the different price points. And so if you want to see all of them, I did a very thorough roundup about last year where I covered shoes from the under $100 price point to the $400 price point. And this is really to fill the final gap in that video, which are the shoes that are above, you know, $200 to almost $300 plus dollars, because in that video, the most requested brand was Two Boot New York, Paul Evans, and Alan Edmonds over here at the end. And so if you're gonna watch one video, I will talk broadly enough about all of the sneakers I've ever tested so that you can just watch this video. If you want more detail, I'll link to my previous videos below where I talk about pretty much every brand that you guys have requested. So as always, thank you to you guys, my audience. You guys suggest the topics, brands, everything. Keep me in the loop and you keep me honest when I miss video deadlines. So I wanna start with a summary. So if you just want to get in and get out, this is gonna be the best way to go. The best value, if you're looking at like that entry price point, remains to be greats. They switched away from Margam soles. I think the soles are still very good. They have a really nice upper. If you want to go one step above that, this new Oliver Cabell one, we'll talk about this in detail. They have redone the entire low one and they raised the price a little bit, but we'll talk about exactly why that is still a very good thing. Beckett Cinnamon is pretty good. You can get incredible deals on their shoes. I have one of their hole cut sneakers that I really like as well. If you want that tipping point of Common Projects quality, not at the very high prices of those, and you don't want to shop secondhand, I think you cannot look any further than Crown. Crown, I talked about in my other video. They're handmade in Northampton, England. They have one of the most comfortable footbeds in any of these shoes. They have a very durable bottom, and they did just redo their line where they now have Kubu leather, they have Horween leather, and they have different tiers of leather in their line, but they also offer a resole service, which I don't know of many sneaker companies that do that at all. So Crown is not one to sleep on. Also, there's like a 20% discount on their prices if you're outside of the US because of the VAT. So Crown, amazing. The other one is Koio. If you want like one of the best sneakers, bar none, even if you're looking at Common Projects, Koio, the calfskin leather they use on their sneakers is amazing, super soft, super supple, and they have like the perfect silhouette in there, and they have one of the higher priced ones in the line. And the other one that wasn't in that original roundup was Ace Marks. They make an amazing shoe in Italy, Margam sole, like colorways, everything is great. So I'm gonna walk you up the price ladder here and talk about what you're getting at these different price points, and so you can make the best decision for yourself. Because we're gonna start at 180, which is the Alan Edmonds here, and then we're gonna go all the way up to Paul Evans, which is $395, talking about To Boot New York at $350, and you got some in the sweet spot here of about $200 to $250, okay? So the brands I usually say go to, and then it really comes down to which brand has the best colorway, because once you're in this like $200-ish price point, you're getting an amazing shoe. So it's like 6 1/2 dozen the other between the brands, but I usually point guys to Crown, Ace Marks, Koio, and now with this update, it's going to be Oliver Cabell at the best entry for that. So let's dive in to all of these sneakers. And right now, like, these sneakers are one of the best investments that you could have in footwear because they can span the range from casual drinks, date night, night out, up to a business casual environment, and you can even span it up to like dressing down a suit. And so having a high quality sneaker that is going to be comfortable and look good and last for a much longer time than any of the cheaper sneakers you can buy, that's what this is all about. So let's start with the Alan Edmonds sneaker, and I can see why they were so heavily requested. Alan Edmonds is really known for their dress shoes, but they come in with the Canal sneaker at $180, and what I feel after wearing this enough times is that you are getting at $180 a leather that is in the $200 plus price point. So I think it's a good value, but they also come in wide sizes, which is huge. And so the fact that you can go with a trusted brand like Alan Edmonds, they're made in Portugal, unlike their other shoes, which are typically made in the US. Some are hand sewn in the Dominican Republic on a solid rubber bottom, non-Margam sole, but they do have a few colorways. I think they're working to expand that line out because they tend to fluctuate on colorways that are out there. And this to me is like the ultimate dress down a suit sneaker, and I think that's why they have this aesthetic to them. So this is a strong recommend. $180 is a great price point for this, and with the wide widths, which is one of the things Allen Edmonds is really known for. Really solid one. So Allen Edmonds is a great pick. Now, talking about grates, I said in my grates video when they switched from Margam soles into their non-Margam soles, they were essentially at a crossroads. They were either gonna have to raise the price and stick with Margam soles, or keep the price the same and switch away from Margam soles. I did want to touch on Artisan Lab. Artisan Lab is a heavily requested brand. I talked in detail on another video about them, but they just updated their leathers as well, and I think they've just improved on what they already had in a really solid shoe. Artisan Lab is really good for anybody outside the US. So if you're outside the US, a lot of these brands will have like duties and shipping and things. So if you're in Europe, I always recommend Artisan Lab or Crown, because both of those companies are EU based and they're not going to really slam you on shipping. So Artisan Lab, nice upgrade on these. And the brand that went the raise prices route is Oliver Cabell. So this is their low one. It's the same silhouette that I reviewed over a year ago that they launched and they've really made their name with, but they re-engineered the shoe in order to move all production from Spain to Italy. They built it on a Margam sole. They upgraded the leather so you can tell that it's a more premium and a more robust calfskin leather, still sourced in Italy. And then on the Margam sole, very comfortable, as all Margam soles tend to be. And so for getting into a sneaker with a Margam sole, made in Italy, $188, this is really now the sneaker to beat as far as value goes. And so Oliver Cabell, really nice upgrade on their shoes. Then we have Moral Code. Moral Code, one of the frequently requested ones from the other brands. Now these are made in India. They're on a non-Margam sole and they're just under the $200 price point. I think they're pretty good. I can't get any information on where the leather is from. If you like the colorways they have some more unique ones. They have a little bit of a different style to the other sneakers. I think it's a good pick. I actually have one of their other like dress shoes that I'm interested in checking out as well, because it is an interesting company, and so that is Moral Code. As we step into the $200 price point, I want to talk about Ariat 224. I picked up a pair of their boots you guys are pretty interested in, but they have this minimalist sneaker that is a little bit more sporty. So if you're looking for something to set you apart a little bit more sporty, but still has all the aspects of the great sneakers we have here, that is Ariat 224. It is on a Vibram sole, so if you have something against Margam, you can go with the Vibram sole here. And these are made in China versus most of the other shoes made in either Italy or Portugal, but worth taking a look at Ariat 224. Very cool sub-brand of a very cool heritage bootmaker. All right, let's start doubling up as we get into 245 for the Cobbler Union Uno sneaker, and then 235 for the Idris sneaker. Idris is a custom shoemaker. I customized this. I put a little bit of suede on the back. I wanted a little sporty look with the white laces on the black, but you can customize every aspect of the shoe. I think the white sole is the primary thing you'll stick with, but you know, you can get the calf leather, you can get suede, other things, and they're made in Spain. Very comfortable. And where Idris really shines is that if you are a big guy, and I talked about this with the Allen Edmonds one, you need a wide width. Idris will go up to a size 17 and a D width. And so if you're hard to fit, you can order custom shoes. They take like 3 weeks, sometimes faster, sometimes slower, depending on the model. And if you want something that's really unique, you can customize, you know, the upper, the toe cap here, the tongue, and so that is Idris. And Cobbler Union, they live up to the hype-ish. 245 Margam sole, made in Portugal, premium calfskin, and they also have a made-to-order option. Now, I understand why they're so heavily requested. There's very few reviews of them out there, but Cobbler Union is a super interesting company. They're based in Atlanta, but they make some beautiful shoes. And you can see in their design here, like they've taken the silhouette and they just did a little bit of their own variation on here. And so, yes, 245, sweet shoe, but I wouldn't say that this is like blowing me away. All right, so now we're out of the $200 price range, we're into the $300 price range. I wanna give a hat tip to Goral shoes. They use a bison leather in this shoe, which is extremely durable, also lightweight. I love the way that it has been wearing. If they made this in a pure white silhouette, it would be like game over. Very cool. They do have their own spin on it. They have the suede accent here on the side. They have a few other colorways on their site, and these come in at like I think $311 with exchange rates and that sort of thing. Handmade in England, very cool company. Goral, check them out if you like their styles. Now we're at To Boot New York. Probably the most requested one. Another one that there's not a lot of reviews out there. $350, Margam sole. It's actually custom made to say To Boot New York on there, which is part of what you're probably paying for on there. But what you're really getting, and where this really differentiates itself, is they have a few styles that are unique. Just the fact that this is a black leather with the brown here, but the leather that they use is a pebbled Napa leather. When I talk about soft, supple calfskin leather on the Koio shoes, this is the type of unique detail that is like a rich feature as to why you're getting this luxury shoe at $350 for a sneaker. And I think it sets it apart. I think it's a beautiful silhouette. You know, I get emails from you guys sometimes where you say, I just want the best sneaker, money, you know, its budget is not a big deal. I think that's where you can look at To Boot New York. These run a little bit big, which is interesting because they are an amalgam sole. It must be the shape of the toe that's making them feel larger. I feel like I should be an 11.5 in these. So typically with all of these sneakers, you know, I wear a 45 European or a 12, which is the same size as my dress shoe. So if you wear, you know, an athletic shoe, sometimes I'll be a 12.5 or a 13. And so you typically want to get the same size as your dress shoe. If you wear, you know, a 10 in Allen Edmonds in their 65 last, you would wear a 10 in any of these sneakers. But this one feels a little bit bigger, which is interesting because it is on the amalgam platform. It should be the same size, should be I guess it's just the size, the way that the last is shaped. But very impressed with these. I can see why they were so heavily requested. And now we'll talk about Paul Evans, which is kind of the reason I wanted to do this supplement at all, because I've had these for 2 years and I find myself wearing them more and more because of the leather. And it's the thing that really sets Paul Evans apart as I talk about the brand, because they seem to do some price games with the brand overall. But whether it's their dress shoes or their sneakers, they tend to use some of this most rich, beautiful, finished, hand-finished leather that's out there. It's at $395, so you're definitely paying the premium for them. But I wanted to show, because I wore these, I got caught in the rain, and you can see there's like some scuffing and some, you know, I wore out the shoe a little bit. I just put a little bit of Renovateur on this one. I didn't actually go in for a full polish, but if there's any shoe that's in this entire collection that you could give this kind of like premium shine to it, the elegant Oxford style, it would be this shoe. And so I'm really into the Paul Evans shoe. I would recommend them if you want something that is extremely well built and looks very beautiful and sets itself apart. Like if you want this colorway, you can go to Ace Marks and they have a great version of it. But there's something about the leather that Paul Evans uses that makes it truly distinguished and truly beautiful. And that is what I'm really impressed with Paul Evans. They actually don't use amalgam sole. It says Euro sole quality on the bottom, but I found this to be as durable as any of the amalgam soles out there, which is usually what you're getting amalgam for. Amalgam is like, it's used in the most premium shoes, whether it's Buscemi or Common Projects, and each of these brands in here. And what you now see is like the lowest price point you've really seen with any amalgam sole is down to like $140 for, what brand was that? Was that Jack? I think had those ones. But Paul Evans, unique, beautiful, all made in Italy, from some of the most beautiful leather in any of the shoes that I own, and it's an interesting company to watch. So that is the latest in the sneaker roundup. I hope that is helpful for you. I still get a lot of questions, so I know that even when you guys go and do your research on my videos and on websites, there's still unanswered things that you come in for, so hopefully this will help you on there. Like I said, if you're looking for one of the best middle grounds on price to quality ratio, you're looking at about $200 for one of these sneakers, and there are innumerable ways that it is better to buy something high quality that lasts versus buying something that you have to replace all the time. So those are the latest sneakers. I should pretty much have every brand covered by now. I know there's a few left, but these are the major ones. You let me know in the comments what other videos you want to see in 2020. Very excited for the stuff I have planned in there. And as always, you can also reach out at _Kavalier on Twitter and Instagram. Very active in my DMs, as are you guys. I'll see you next time, gents. This is the Kavalier.